Yo, freaking yo. What is up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well. Coach Chad here, CEO of the Next Level Coaching Academy and creator of the Chad. No, this is not the Chad Molyneux Fitness Podcast. This is the Fit CEO Podcast by Chad Molyneux. Keep it in there, Kyle. Keep it in there. I want people to see the raw me fucking up on the podcast. And yes, I have a crumb of food in my beard. Wow, we are off to a hot start. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Today's a special day. Today's a special day because today marks 1 year of a company in NLCA. Today is NLCA's birthday, and it is also my 26th birthday. Can you believe it? Me and NLCA had the same exact birthday. Was that done on purpose? Absolutely. Am I a psychopath? Probably. Anyways, got some special stuff for you guys today. So what we're going to be talking about is the difference between teaching and coaching on a sales call context, and why I think most coaches are fucking up their sales because they're teaching and they're not coaching on their sales calls. And I will delineate the difference for you guys. We will talk about that in a minute, but I want to give you some exciting updates. So as I just said, NLCA is 1 year a company. And if you know anything about me, I'm all about improvement. I'm all about growth. I'm always about being the best or trying to be the best. All right. So we've made some changes in NLCA to literally try to be the best. So if you guys know this might be, old knowledge to you, but NLCA actually has 8 group coaching calls a week. Yes. And we have, how many coaches do we have? Me, Dayla, Alex, Kayla, Matt, Stefan, and PJ. Holy crap, we have 7 coaches. 7 coaches, and we have 8 group coaching calls a week. Every group coaching call has its own theme. Some are about sales, some are about marketing, some are about objection handling, some are about client delivery, some are about mindset, some are about planning, like strategically planning your week. That's the Sunday call that I host. But that's all old news. Like I said, that's something we've already been doing, the 8 calls a week. Those calls are an hour long. You don't have to attend every single one. They're all recorded. You'll get the recording if you don't attend, all 8. Like, we don't expect that. The reason we actually have 8, not to go off on too much of a tangent, but the reason that we actually have 8 coaching calls a week is because what I've noticed, I've been through a lot of group coaching programs before, and usually it's 1 group coaching call a week, and there's like 80 people on the call, and you never get your question answered. So I said, well, how can we still provide group coaching, but still provide a ton of attention? Well, why don't we just have more group coaching calls over the course of the week? So we have 8, so that instead of it being 80 people on a call, it's a small amount of people on a call, and you actually are able to, get that talk time with the coach. Okay. So, like I said, that's old news. What's the new exciting stuff, Chad? What's the new thing that you guys are dropping? So I didn't think NLCA could be any better, but we hired 2 coaches to take 1-to-1 support calls. Those are going to be 30-minute 1-to-1 support calls. There will be 60 1-to-1 support call opportunities on a weekly, not a monthly. You thought I was about to say monthly, on a weekly basis. 60. So, yeah, it's insane. I didn't think it could be any better, but we added the 1-to-1 support. Now there is 60 opportunities, 60 1-to-1 support calls that happen a week where you can get real talk time with the coach for 30 minutes, 1-to-1 on Zoom. All right. So not only that, but we actually are revamping our whole entire course as well. So as I said, we are 1 year a company. That means the course is 1 year old. So the material needs to be updated, right? I believe every year we're going to have to update the material because this space is growing so fast. There's so much that me and Dayla are learning that we are just taking the time to just put it all back into the course. All right. So that's everything for updates. Let's dive into the actual topic today. We're going to be talking about teaching versus coaching. So why did I choose to talk about this topic? And like I talked about before, I believe that most coaches are making the mistake of teaching on sales calls instead of coaching. So your next logical question should be, well, what the hell is the difference? Here's the difference. Teaching is telling somebody what to do. So like, for example, if I was going to teach you how to track your calories, I would say, well, you're going to download MyFitnessPal. You're going to scan the barcodes of the food that you're eating. You'll probably have to weigh and measure. You'll do this on a daily, consistent basis. That's me teaching you something. And here's what's wrong with teaching on a sales call. What's wrong is it's really overwhelming and it seems like a lot of work. And people already are getting on sales calls feeling overwhelmed. And if you provide additional levels of overwhelm, what are they going to say at the end of the call? Oh man, I just don't have time for this. I think I need to talk to my spouse. It's too much money. Whatever their objection is, right? Because you've created so much angst, so much overwhelm, so much, holy crap, this is going to be so hard, that they doubt themselves and then they give you an objection, right? So instead, you need to coach. And here's what coaching is. Coaching is breaking down false beliefs in order for them to take action. Everybody comes onto a sales call with some false belief. They believe keto is the best. They believe that they need to intermittent fast. They believe that they can't eat anything after 8 p.m. They believe carbs are bad. Whatever it is, it's your job and role as a salesperson to help people break down their beliefs. So once their belief is broken down, they can make the logical decision that you are the solution to their problem. All right, so let's give some context around this. There's really two parts in a sales call where you really have to be doing coaching versus teaching. And that's every sales script should have a what have you tried section. All right. So the reason you want to have a what have you tried section is, one, obviously to see what they've tried in the past, but also to show them why what they have tried in the past actually hasn't worked in a coaching context, not a teaching context. The second part that you'll have to do coaching instead of teaching on a sales script is in the presentation. Right? You're not presenting your nutrition program, workout program, and accountability system in the sense of telling them the step-by-step directions on what they're going to be doing. You need to coach them on why what they're going to be doing is best for them. And we'll get into the example of the presentation one in a minute. Let me give you an example of the what have you tried section. So in this example, there will be the salesperson and the prospect is actually going to be a prospective business client. So we're going to be speaking in the context of business. And then when I go over the second example, I'll bring it back to fitness. Okay. So salesperson asks, what have you tried in the past to grow your business? The prospect says, well, I've tried posting content, doesn't really seem to work. Salesperson asks, great. Out of curiosity, why do you feel like that hasn't worked for you? Here's where the person spills the beans on their false belief. Well, it hasn't worked because I don't have a large following. I don't really have, 100,000 followers like I see all these other people that are getting clients. Here's how a salesperson would reply if they were teaching them, which is the wrong way to do it. Totally. Well, actually, you really don't need a large following because it's not about the number of followers, but rather the relationship you have with each follower. We have a process, and that process is called DM outreach. What you're going to do is, actually, let me share the screen and show you the script. Salesperson shares the screen, shows the script. All right, so you're actually going to ask 3 personal questions. The 3 personal questions are really to build rapport, and then from there, you're going to transition into asking some more business questions to gather some knowledge about their business. Then you're actually going to pitch them a call. Once you get them on the call, then you're going to do X, Y, Z, whatever, right? So you get the point. That's teaching. Teaching is showing them the step-by-step process, which is a lot of work, causes a lot of overwhelm, and is going to stress them the fuck out, okay? Here's how to reply in a coaching context. So remember, I asked, why do you feel like posting content hasn't worked for you? They said, because I don't have a large following. All right. So here's how you coach somebody through that false belief. Totally. Let me ask you, would you agree that if you had 1,000 followers that knew you at a personal level, that would be more powerful and impactful for your business and lead generation than having 10,000 followers with no personal connection to you and they know nothing about you? Obviously, the person's going to say yes because it's true. What I just said is true. If you have 1,000 people that know you versus 10,000 people that don't know you, I would much rather have the 1,000 people that know me and work that pool of leads in order to get clients opposed to 10,000 people that really don't know me, right? So I'm asking them a question to help them through their own negative beliefs. So they say yes. I follow up, right? That first yes is like the first chink of their false belief armor. So I'm going to follow it up with another question that's really just going to crack down the barrier. Okay. So I'm going to say, okay, cool. So if we were able to teach you how to build a personal relationship with your current following, do you think that that would solve your lead generation problem? Answer is obviously yes. Now they're broken down. Now they're open to hearing my solution, right? So I'd say, awesome, couldn't agree more. And that's exactly the process that we're going to provide for you. And then I would just move right into the next part of the script. So see the big difference there? Teaching in this section is telling them step by step why what they haven't tried hasn't worked. And here's what you need to do step by step in order to actually get results. Coaching, I broke down their belief because their belief was that they needed a large following. You and I both know they don't need a large following. What they really need is to build personal relationships that eventually lead to leads and clients. And that's exactly what I did. Changed their belief. Okay. So that's the what have you tried section of your sales script. Another place this is going to happen is the presentation, like I said before. So I'm going to bring this one into a fitness context. Okay. So when presenting a fitness program, there's really three key elements to a fitness program. There's nutrition, workouts, and accountability. Now, if somebody was going to teach somebody about what they had to offer, they would break down each of those sections. For nutrition, we're going to do macro tracking, which is going to look like this, this, and this. For workouts, we're going to do progressive overload with, the four main compound lifts, which is going to look like this, this, and this. And for accountability, you're going to fill out this form every week and yada, 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 right? That would be me teaching you my process. Here would be coaching that process. So let's start with nutrition, right? And let's say that this person's belief is that they only need to eat chicken and broccoli if they want to lose weight. So I would say, okay, cool. So what we're going to teach you in a nutrition context is we're going to teach you what we call flexible dieting. Let me ask you a question. So earlier on in the call, you told me that you think, or what you've tried in the past is that you've, eaten chicken and broccoli, but for some reason you always continue to fall off. Let me ask you this question. If I came to you and I said, hey, you're going to eat chicken and broccoli for the rest of your life, would you be able to do it? The person's probably going to say no. And then from there, you're going to say, okay, cool. So if you can't eat chicken and broccoli for the rest of your life, then why do you think that is a sustainable solution in order for you to lose weight and keep it off? And they would probably say, well, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's a very sustainable solution. So you'd say, okay, cool. So if I had something for you that taught you how to eat healthy, but also how to eat the foods that you enjoy and lose weight and keep it off, do you think that that would solve your problem? Person's probably going to say yes. And then you can even throw one more question there. You can even say, okay, cool. So do we agree that it is probably more sustainable for, yes, eating 80% healthy, but also, 20% of your calories making up foods that you enjoy? Do you think that that's a more sustainable long-term solution opposed to just eating chicken and broccoli? Well, yes, I do. Okay, cool. So that's what we're going to teach you. And then you can go over like literally a 30-second elevator pitch of how you're going to teach them that. But see how I coached them through breaking down that barrier? That would cover nutrition. Whoa, excuse me. Just had breakfast. Let's go over workout. All right. So let's say this individual said, well, the reason that I'm not consistent with my workouts is, I just don't have the time, right? You get into the presentation, you're like, all right, cool. So now we're going to talk about workouts. So remember earlier when you told me that you don't have time to work out and that's really been your biggest crutch to being consistent? You're going to say yes. And then you're going to say, okay, cool. So let me ask you this. So previously you were trying to go to a CrossFit gym 5 times a week. The CrossFit classes were at 5 o'clock. And they were an hour long. And you told me that, you get off work at 4:30 and you have to like sprint to the CrossFit class to try to make it. Let me ask you this. Do you think that the schedule for the CrossFit class and the hour-long workout is sustainable for your schedule long-term? Like, do you think that that is something you'll be able to do time and time again consistently? Probably not. Okay, cool. So let me ask you this. If we were able to create a workout plan for you that fit your busy schedule, do you think that you would actually be able to be sustainable with that? Yes, probably. Okay, cool. So here's the deal. Instead of doing 60-minute workouts, what we're going to do is we're going to do 30-minute workouts. They're going to be high intensity workouts where you're going to be able to burn a lot of calories, but it's only going to take you 30 minutes. So you don't have to worry about the time consistency. Do you think that's a better option than what you were doing before? Or you had to drive 30 minutes, you get off work, you have to drive 30 minutes to a CrossFit gym, do an hour workout, and then commute 30 back. Because of this workout, you could literally do from your basement and you wouldn't have to, worry about all the commuting. Do you think that's a more viable solution? Yes, I do. See how I'm coaching them through the solution to their time problem is probably not commuting to a CrossFit gym, but probably doing high intensity interval training for 30 minutes right in their basement, opposed to making that commute. See the difference? All right, let's do one more. So accountability, here's one. So you can say, let's say the person's like, yeah, I just really haven't been consistent. You can say, all right, cool. So I personally believe the reason that you haven't been consistent is really no fault of your own, but probably because you don't really have any support system or accountability system. Want to hear how that works? They're going to say yes. And you're going to say, okay, cool. Remember when you were a kid and, your parents told you to brush your teeth? Like, you would every day they would say, brush your teeth. And you'd be like, okay, fine. Like, I hate brushing my teeth, but you would do it because they told you to. They were holding you accountable to. Let me ask you this. Do your parents still call you up at night and say, hey, make sure you brush your teeth? No, they don't. But you brush your teeth, right? Yes, I do. Okay, cool. The reason you brush your teeth is because it's become a habit because your parents were holding you accountable to making that process a habit for you. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to check in on you. We're going to hold you accountable, just like your parents did with brushing your teeth, so that it becomes a consistent thing for you where eventually we don't have to call you up and theoretically tell you to brush your teeth. You're just going to go to the gym and work out. Make sense? Cool. See, I broke down their belief by telling them a story and not telling them, well, for your check-in, you're going to tell us this and you're going to weigh yourself every day and do this and take measurements, because that causes overwhelm, right? But they can connect with me coaching them through that process. All right, guys, that's everything I had. That's the difference between teaching and coaching. Like I said before, this is a massive game changer in your sales. Lean into coaching and stay away from teaching. The big thing to remember is, what is their false belief? Ask them questions that allow them to break down their false belief on their own. And then from there, you can provide the solution. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate this. The best thing you can do for me, if you guys are enjoying this, is take a screenshot of the podcast, post it on your story, make sure you tag me. This is a word of mouth podcast. I don't put any ads behind it. I literally just do this because I love it. I love talking about business. I want to help other people. So best way to spread the message, screenshot, tag me, share on your Instagram. Thank you guys so much and have a blessed day.